It was a good idea of yours to have the speeches outside. It's getting so hot in that marquee.
Yeah, they've opened the sides up now, it'll be fine. And those bridesmaids were absolutely delightful. And thanks again to all the catering staff. And before we toast the bride and groom, let me now tell you why we're really here. Well, we're here to do a review of the KAM KWM 1932 V2 wireless microphone kit. And that's what I'm using now. Well, I hope you enjoyed the wedding. For those of you who've stumbled across me because you're looking for a wireless microphone, you've not visited the new Brit workshop before, well, I do reviews of all sorts of things, and we're in my woodworking workshop, and this is a technology review. So don't worry, you won't get any splinters. Now, one or two people have said that the quality of the sound on a number of my videos wasn't quite up to the mark, and so I had to get myself a wireless microphone, and that's what we're talking about today. And I've got the KAM 1932 V2, and it comes in this rather nice case. I'll open it up now. We've had it in use already, and it comes in this foam-filled case with everything in its proper place, which is rather nice. Now, obviously, we're not using it at the moment, but when I bring you in close, we'll have it in operation, and I'll talk you through the various components. Now, the KWM 1932 V2 is the latest machine from KAM, and inside the box you have instructions and a guarantee card. And then the various components all in this rather neat bit of foam, so you can carry it around and it doesn't matter if the box gets knocked a bit. Now, I've had this in use already, so some of these leads aren't quite as tidy as they were when the kit arrived. Now, this is the receiver. It's a 2-channel UHF receiver, and the 2 channels are known as channel A and channel B. And this is the gain control for channel A, and this is the gain control for channel B. And that would effectively act like a little volume control for the output from this receiver as it goes to your amplifier, your PA system, or in my case, to my camera. For the channel A, there's a green light to show that it's receiving a signal, and the same for channel B, a green light which shows that a signal is being received. And then there's a red light here to indicate that this box has power. We turn it around and look at the back. There are 2 antennae, one for each channel, and then on the left we have an on-off switch, and there's a DC in socket which takes the power from the mains transformer which is provided. Then next to that is a phono socket, and from this phono socket you would have the output from the receiver of both channels combined, and that's known as an unbalanced output. And that's what I will use to connect from the receiver to my camera in a minute. There are then a pair of individual outlets, one for channel A and one for channel B, which you could take onto your PA system, or 2 separate amplifiers, whatever it is you might wish to use in your setup. Now, included in the kit are 2 transmitters. There's a body pack transmitter, and there's a transmitter built into this microphone. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to connect the receiver to my camera. In order to do that, I'm going to use this lead. It has a phono plug on one end, which is going to go into the unbalanced dual channel output here, and this phono plug will go into the socket on my camera. Now, I'm just going to set that up, and then you'll be back with me. I've just turned the on-off switch to the on position on the microphone, and this has its own transmitter powered by a pair of batteries which are behind this cover, and these batteries are supplied with the kit. Now, this is operating through channel B, and you can probably see that the channel B light is on. Now, the gain control for channel B on the receiver is here. So if I turn this down, you'll hear my voice slowly fade away. And if I turn it back up again, you'll hear my voice return to the previous level. Now I'm going to continue to use the wireless microphone whilst I describe the other bits of kit. There are two other microphones. There's this lapel microphone, often referred to as a lavalier, and it will be attached to your lapel or collar or whatever. And there's this headset microphone, which goes around the head, and the microphone then would be close to the face, and it's there. But these don't have transmitters. They rely on a connection to this transmitter. And if you look at the top of the transmitter, it has a socket into which you'd plug in one or other of these two microphones. Also on the top is an on-off switch, and there's a little LED there which glows briefly when you switch it from on to off and vice versa. There's a gain control here, which you can adjust the sound level coming from whichever microphone. And there's a little floppy antenna, which is very robust and is unlikely to get damaged. On the back is a belt clip, and it is powered by a pair of batteries which are under this cover. And again, these batteries are provided with the kit. I'm still using the wireless microphone, but I've put the lapel microphone onto my jacket, and I'm going to plug it into the transmitter. Transmitter's still switched off at the moment. I'm now going to turn off the wireless microphone. I've now turned on the transmitter, and you should hear me perfectly clearly. And now you can probably just see that the light is on for channel A, and this is operating on channel A. The wireless microphone I've turned off, and its light has gone off. If I turn it on, you can see its light lights up. I'll turn it off, and there it goes. Well, of course, you can't see the receiver now because I've got it mounted underneath the camera on a little tray which I've made up that fits under the tripod. I'm trying the headset microphone at the moment, and I'll leave you to be the judge of the quality of the audio coming from it. I found it a little tricky to get the gain levels right. That's the one on the transmitter here and the one on the receiver. I've had to turn the one on the transmitter down quite low. I suspect that's because this microphone is very close to my mouth. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. That's another £100 to charity with that last item. Now, the next item to be auctioned is this plaid shirt. It is a little bit tired looking, and it used to belong to a famous woodworker, so I'm told. And I'm sorry, madam, I'm holding it at arm's length because it smells a bit. That's right, yes. And who'll give me £20 for this plaid shirt? £20, £10, a fiver. Anyone give me a fiver for this shirt? A pound then. A pound from the gentleman in the corner. Thank you very much, sir. What? Well, someone had to buy the shirt. Look, this is a bit of a chicken and egg situation because I'm using the equipment to make this film, and most of it is at your end where the camera is. So all I've got on show is the presentation case with the box that it comes in, the wireless microphone, the headset microphone. I've got the wireless transmitter showing here rather than being on my belt, and I'm using the lapel microphone. Now, I ended up with this KWM 1932 V2 system after doing some market research. And one of the first things I discovered was that there are two types of wireless microphone system. You can get VHF and UHF. Now, VHF frequencies are much lower than UHF frequencies, and VHF is prone to interference, and basically the frequency response is not going to be quite so good. So I decided in advance that I wanted UHF, and this is UHF. The next thing I really wanted was the ability to have a lapel microphone and a wireless transmitter, so that I could move around my workshop and do whatever I like. Now, there are loads and loads of other applications where this would be useful. If you're in a church hall, if you're at a wedding, well, we've done weddings, haven't we? You came to the last one. There's all sorts of applications where that type of setup is perfect. There are other situations where wearing one of these headset microphones is probably even better if you're trying to sell, I don't know, those things that cut vegetables up in a supermarket or whatever it might be. And of course, having the microphone quite close to your mouth means that if you're in a noisy environment like a discotheque or whatever, and you're putting records on and you're trying to introduce them, then having the mic close to your mouth is a good thing. So great application if you're a DJ. And then the wireless microphone, well, this is a joy really, because if something goes wrong, if your battery runs flat, if there are two of you and you both want to be heard by your audience, then having one of these is perfect. Now, one of the things I did not know about in advance was the range of these wireless microphones, that one and of course the wireless transmitter. We did our experiment and we tested that. My measurements were slightly on the generous side. It was about 35 meters that they worked out to. Now, that's a pretty big church hall. It's a pretty big marquee. And unless you're doing a performance at the O2, I suspect 35 meters is more than enough for anyone. Now, there are a couple of characteristics of the system that you need to be aware of. They're not faults, they're just characteristics of the system. The first is that the receiver is effectively tethered to the mains, because there's a mains adapter which has to go into a main socket, and then that goes into the back of the receiver. So it's a little bit awkward if you're trying to do video work, say, outside. You've then got to start running extension leads and so on. It's just something you need to be aware of. But for most people in the village hall, the discotheque, or in a marquee or whatever, power isn't going to be an issue. The next thing is there are gain controls both on the receiver, that's below the camera. If you look below your seat, it's still there, and also gain control here on the wireless transmitter. And when you're using the lapel microphone, you end up having to make adjustments to two lots of gain controls, the one on the receiver and the one here. And the only time that's significant is if you're doing video work. Hey, that's me. If you're using it into a PA system, it's not a problem, because you just go testing, testing, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and you've got an instant result. Whereas with video work, you need to do a test recording and then play that back to check the sound level. Now, at the time of making this video, on Amazon in the United Kingdom, you can buy this system for £105, including VAT. You can find systems that go up to £2,000 or £3,000, but they're not for us. That's for the people running the BBC or big studios or whatever it might be. But for us ordinary mortals, if you're running a disco or whatever it might be, making videos like me, then this is ideal. I rather like the idea it comes in this fairly rugged case. I like the fact that everything you need is in that case when you buy it, including the batteries you need for both wireless transmitters. I think that's excellent. And I didn't have to find any leads or anything. All the leads I needed were in there as well. Now, KAM and their parent company, Lambda, are specialists in this type of equipment. They've got a great reputation. If you look at the various written reviews that are dotted around the internet, you'll see that they've got a lot of satisfied customers out there. I found nothing at fault with any of this equipment during the 5 days that I've been testing it. And I think it's absolutely super. So I hope this video has been helpful. Judge the quality by the quality of the sound that you're hearing now. Don't worry about what I'm saying, it's the quality of the audio. And I hope you find the right wireless system for you. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.